Good morning, Jim from KAWALA. What's the story?
Hello.
Welcome to Léim Thart.
It's lovely to be here. Thank you for having me, Rory.
Oh, great to be chatting with you.
Little disclaimer, Daniel's not here right now. The nature of these tours is that we get spread incredibly thin. So you've only got me today. So apologies for anybody who was hoping that they were going to hear Daniel's voice. It's just me. I could do an impression, but I probably wouldn't do it justice.
That's okay. We love you, Daniel.
We love you, Daniel.
But yeah, I'm gonna start off by taking a quick little trip back, because I've seen you guys live before. Back a few years ago when you supported George
Ooh.
Ezra here in Dublin in
Ooh.
Malahide Castle. I don't know how well
God,
that's
look at the
showing up.
size of that stage.
Yeah,
Yeah. Wow. God,
has
that's a
to be some digging.
throwback. That was a throwback. So which show was that? Sorry, that you came and
That
saw?
was in Dublin in the Malahide Castle for George Ezra.
Wow, I think that was the biggest one as well. To date, I think that's our biggest show that we've ever done.
Oh, cool. Well, hopefully next time I'll be closer to the stage.
Oh yeah. Well, I hope you could hear everything. Yeah, what a surreal time that was. Lovely George. He just picked us off a list of 50 artists and was like, "I like this. I'm going to bring them along," and gave us an experience that we're never going to forget. This is the first time that we played to 25,000 people.
Wow, that's
Oh,
so cool.
it says a shiver up my spine. Yeah, gosh.
Yeah. Well, all this time later, you're now releasing your first album, Better With You. And as you were saying with Daniel's absence this morning, how has release week been? Because you've been all over the UK playing record stores, signings, and it just must be hectic.
Oh yeah. I mean, I could sit here and complain about this first week. Sleep deprived, not having time to eat food, doing 2 to 3 shows a day. Uh, but at the end of the day, we're having such a fun time. The response to the album has been incredible. Meeting fans after these little shows and doing the kind of almost like market research, finding out what's striking the chord with people, what their favorite songs are. Everybody has such nice words to say about it. And the shows have been incredible. So I could say that it's super stressful this week because we're swept off our feet from 6 a.m. until 11 o'clock at night, but we're having a great time.
Oh, great to hear. And of course, I love the cover. It's this gorgeous collage or a mosaic, whatever
Yeah.
term you want to use. And it just has different pieces of artwork by everyone on the team, including yourselves, management, publicity, parents, etc.
Yeah. My mum, my dad. Yeah. Integral to the project.
Of course, parents are so important.
Without parents, we wouldn't have any of the music, right? So thanks, mum and dad. Yeah, where did the idea come from? I guess it's a funny thing. I think we wanted to do something a little bit different than what I think other artists do with their debut albums. I think so many people use their debut album as a chance to talk about themselves. Like, this is me, this is who I am, this is what I want to say. But we wanted to be a little bit different and give back to, yeah, all the people that make our dream reality. Because in many ways, they're more integral. I mean, obviously, it wouldn't exist without the music, but without them, we can't do these things. So we wanted to celebrate our community with our debut album. But then album two is going to be like totally just ego trip, just all about us. Front cover us, with like a tiger or something.
You just be like, thanks for all your help. We've got this now.
Yeah, we got this now. Yeah.
And on this cover for Better With You, I had so much fun watching you trying to build it like a puzzle on YouTube. And that probably teaches you a lot about the artwork, that you have to sort of inspect every detail and having to get every tile in the exact correct place. And then you also had a bunch of your listeners try to build it as well. How was it when it's your own and when it's your listeners? Or was it difficult?
With our listeners and our fans, when we did we got together and everyone did a different squares, about 50 squares, and the puzzle came together so quickly because it was the helping hand of everybody involved. When it was just me and Daniel, it took us a good hour probably to put it all together. And I guess conceptually, that just shows that it's better when it's done with more people. It's better with you. It ties back to to the concept of the album quite nicely. I've never even thought about that.
I can imagine from all the listening they've done, they've definitely looked at the cover a lot, and there's obviously so many songs on the album. There's 10 great tracks. It takes a bit of a journey. Want to deep dive because I've absolutely been loving the single Jesse Come On, constantly playing it. It's perfect for in the car, and it's a song about people who lie all the time, and I think that's something that I haven't seen explored to an extent in a song before. You've heard songs that they're saying, you lied to me about this, that, or the other, but it's not just about that person who lies. And we all have our Jessie, which could be a friend, could be a colleague. Mine just happens to be called Jessie, so really relating hard to the lyrics.
Really?
Yeah.
You actually know a Jessie?
Who likes to lie.
Well, this song is about your friend, actually. You probably didn't know that. Your friend Jessie, yeah, that person.
Didn't realise we were 2 degrees of separation away this whole time.
Look at that. No, yeah, but that's exactly. Yeah, it's an interesting point. Why hasn't people talked about this more? Because everybody does know Jessie. Yeah, I mean, I guess it's in a way it's an angry song, but it's also a kind of in a weird way a positive song, because even though we're frustrated with Jessie, you know, the kind of playfulness of the kind of just knock it off. It's like you're letting it slide because they are at the end of the day still your friend, you know. So there's a bit of a contrast in the song. Yeah. The name Jessie, actually, we wanted a kind of like a non-gender specific name. And we were writing it, and a fellow who's helping us, our friend Joe Rubel, he was like, "Oh, well, what about Jesse? I've got a 4-year-old nephew called Jesse, and he just so happens to be a massive liar." So we're like, "Oh, that's perfect." So that's actually where the name came from.
Now, does your Jesse, obviously, they who shall remain unnamed, do they still catch you out with their lies, or are you good at reading them now?
I find it quite entertaining, actually. You know,
yeah.
Everybody's got a little bit of a Jessie in them, though. You know, whether you're telling a story for the 100th time and you embellish it a little bit more every time, you know, or you're just trying to be cool and look cool, and I don't know, whatever it is. You know, I don't think everybody speaks 100% of the truth 100% of the time. You know, we've all been subject to a little lie at some point as well. Yeah, so. Yes, I've never. Yeah, I guess I've never really thought about it so much, but it's interesting.
It's a bit like Jay from the Inbetweeners.
Oh yeah. He is an ultimate Jesse.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe that's why there's a J name.
Maybe. But that would imply I'm a massive liar. I don't think I'm a massive liar. No. I tell a couple of cheeky fibs occasionally. I don't know, yes. Probably.
Maybe I'd have to ask the rest of the band for that.
Yeah. Well, Reeve's sitting over there. Reeve, am I a liar? No, never. He's never.
Shout out to Reeve.
It's quite nice of him, actually. Shout out to Reeve. He's got my back.
Yeah. And then more recently, obviously, we had a slightly different vibe with Good Like This when it came out. And the gentle kick drum is really nice, and the use of harmony is very good, and it has this sort of quiet, calm confidence to it when I listen to it. It comes towards the conclusion of the album, and it's a while after you've listened to the songs at the start, like Searching, where you seemed confused, but this is more sure of itself. Was that on purpose when you did the track listing?
It's funny you say that, because in a way it was one of the most experimental songs on the album, in that I'd say, you know, first and foremost, me and Daniel are songwriters, and inspiration for songs can come from so many different places. It just so happened that Daniel was listening to a lot of Drake that week, and we sat down to write a song. We were like, man, why don't we try and channel a little bit of Drake in some writing and try and be a bit sexy? So we did, and that's where Good Like This came from. So I guess the confidence in that song that you're hearing is maybe our inner Drake that we just never knew, and we've discovered now. Maybe we need to channel a little bit more of Drake. But there's also another side to it, in that I think with this album, me and Daniel have allowed ourselves to be a little bit more vulnerable in our writing. We're talking a lot more from our personal experiences for the first time. Just because the nature of being two frontmen in a band is that, you know, if I go through a breakup and we write a song about it, then Daniel will have to sing about my ex-girlfriend every time we sing a song, and we find that a little bit weird. But it just so happened that over lockdown, we were both in very similar situations. Both came out of incredibly long-term relationships, like 7 and 6 years or so. So it meant that we could talk about our experiences together for the first time. And Good Like This is one of those songs. There's a few more on the album as well, but Good Like This is that kind of realization of, actually, I'm better off this way, and I don't need to kind of hold on to that pain because it's not helpful. Which is maybe where that confidence comes from as well, just being really sure of ourselves, both in the concept of the song, but also having to sort of sit down and write the song as well. Yeah. No, great question. Sorry, because I've never really thought about these things until you asked.
For sure. And there's obviously lots of great songs. There's Searching, as I mentioned there. There's Ticket to Ride, which everyone has heard on FIFA and your listeners love listening to. You've clearly have a real emphasis on making people feel good, but connecting with your listeners and giving that feeling of being in community, which we also hear on the chorus of Echoes, where you got the album title from. Was there an artist who did this for you growing up, or was it kind of a lack of said sort of connection that sort of inspired you or drove you to push this feeling?
I think it comes fairly subconsciously. I mean, even our slightly more sad songs, they do have this kind of emphasis of hope rather than kind of wallowing in sadness. And I don't know if that is a reflection of me and Dan, because there's definitely times where we're both incredibly depressed. But maybe it's like, you know, we look on the positive side of things, and I guess you could say our songs are almost self-help for ourselves. It's like I mean, you know, they say when you're an artist and you're going through tough times, you write a song because it's like a form of therapy to get it out of your system. Maybe that's what we do, but you know, there are certain songs where it doesn't really work because they are just painful reminders every time you have to sing them. I don't know where that hope comes from. I guess it's just inside me and Dan somewhere. It just so happens that, you know, fans feel an affinity with that. People in the world. I think, you know, it's incredibly easy to write sad songs. I think it's a lot harder to write happy songs. And there's a lot of sadness in the world. There's a lot of, you know, sad songs in the world. And so if we can, you know, keep people feeling positive and entertained at the same time, then I think that's something I'd be quite proud in saying that I'm able to do. Absolutely.
You're dead right in that, and you've met lots of that community this week doing your record store tour, and this album ends on a more positive note with there's the line, "Hope is on the horizon" in the final track, "Never really here for long." Is that to coincide with the hope for the coming year being hopefully the year that the music world just like kicks back?
Yeah, absolutely. Nail on the head.
Definitive yes.
Yes, definitive yes. Is that a good answer? Yes. No, but it's that, but also all the other things as well. You know, I think we need hope more than ever in a way. And you know, we're a smaller band, and you know, we're trying our best to get better and better. You know, obviously we do this for ourselves because we love making music, but it would be nice to be absolutely mega famous as well. You know, I wouldn't say no. So I think hope is important. You know, we work incredibly hard, and you know, we do hope every day that our music is connecting with people, and we do hope that gigs will come back and reality will return, and we can do what we love, which is playing live music. The summer coming is the first summer where I think it's going to be a relaxed festival atmosphere. And I really hope it will be, because we're looking forward to going to festivals. We love it. If the sun's shining, we're playing our music, people are having a good time. That's our dream. And I hope that, look, I think hope is, we're saying hope. I'm saying hope quite a lot right now.
It's important.
Hope. It's important. It's important to us. I think it's important to everybody right now. I think we probably use the word hope more than any other words in our music. It's a recurring theme.
Yeah,
and
it's a bit like how they said,
songs.
Wouldn't the Beatles, they said, someone counted up that they had said like either baby or love many hundreds of times across their discography. Maybe hope could be your word.
I think that's nice though. That's nice. I like that.
Yeah, it could be. And with the hope for the future, you've obviously got another tour starting very soon. You're coming towards the end of the Record Store tour, but you've got the big headline tour in 3D with 4D sound and everything imaginable. And obviously speaking here from Dublin, obviously you've had multiple shows here. George Ezra, as I mentioned. Remember, shortly after that, you booked the Academy 2, selling out so fast you upgraded the venue. And then Main Room, just in the winter of last year, you're doing another big tour across Europe, including Shepherd's Bush Empire. It feels strange saying that out loud, because it is just one of those sort of venues in London.
It's strange hearing it.
Yeah, it really is.
Who do we think we are, honestly?
that almost sounds like a very good, like, funny video backdrop to put up, because I think the 1975 did that when they'd performed The Sound. They'd put up all the bad reviews that they got from press up on the screen behind them as like a joke. What's the tour going to be like now that the album is out? Because you've had singles, you've had EPs, but now you have a big body of work, and I suppose albums are like a benchmark in the music world.
Yeah. We cannot wait to play the album songs in all of their glory live to people. I think, we've been doing this little album record store tour over the past week, and Ben who's the drummer, he said yesterday, I am so bored of playing the cajon, and he is a world-class cajon player. Like, he's incredible, but he shines even more on a full drum kit. And when we're the first song on the album, Hold Back the Years, with the just that moment alone, I'm just can't wait. Curtain drop, Ben on the drums, massive explosion. Hey man, even maybe we'll throw out a confetti cannon first song. Who knows? We've got lots of ideas. We've got lots of big ideas, right? Lots of them. I don't know what's going to make the cut, because we're being ambitious. It's like I said earlier, I think live music is our bread and butter. You might not absolutely love the record, but if you came and see us play live, I'd like to think it's hard to say that you wouldn't be happy to hear it. It's where we really shine, and we've been working on this album for a year. We've had the songs finished for a long time before the marketing campaign and all of that, and we haven't been able to play them to an audience. So it's exciting for us. It's going to be special. It's going to be something we'll remember for the rest of our lives.
I suppose the Record Store tour has given you that kind of head start, because I've noticed a few times for artists that I'm a fan of that they'll start off a big headline tour, whether that's in an arena, a stadium, theaters or something, and then maybe after a few shows is when they've kind of almost market tested the songs live. They know when to point the mic to the crowd. They know when to get everyone down on the floor and jump up. So as you have that head start now from doing all these record stores.
Well, in a way. I mean, it's definitely one of the biggest things that we lost was playing new songs to crowds and finding out what works. Like for Ticket to Ride, which is also on the album, it's a bit of an oldie goldie for us. It's a classic. We've been around a long time. We have classics now. But we released it mid-lockdown, and we didn't know if people were really enjoying it, you know, that much. And then when we went into the summer and we played it for the first time at festivals, and it was everybody's favorite, you know, we were like, wow, it's really connecting with people. We need to like reimagine this, make it bigger, you know, put it in the right place in the set, all these things. Because we lost that kind of, essentially it's a band's most useful marketing research, you know. But yeah, we've had a little taster of what's going down well on this little record store tour. But we'll see what really connects when on the album tour. You know, it's different between 7 people singing along or 2,000 people singing along. We're going to find out. Yeah, it's exciting.
Well, I'm sure it'll be great. The album Better With You is out now. Best luck with the tour. Best luck with the album. Thanks very much, Jim.
Hey, no, thanks so much, Rory. It's been a pleasure. Cheers, mate.